Well, hey there. My name is Bart Blair, and I am a pastor and church planter in southeast Collin County. My wife Elizabeth and I live in a small city called Lavon. Now, if you live in McKinney or Frisco or somewhere else in Collin County, you've probably heard of Lavon, and you probably know it as a lake. And you'd be right, it is a lake, but there's actually also a city called Lavon. I grew up in McKinney, attended McKinney High School way back in the day when there was only one high school in McKinney, and my family spent time on Lake Lavon, and I had no idea that there was a city here. And now, as of about 10 weeks ago, my wife Elizabeth and I are living in the city of Lavon. Lavon is one of 4 small cities that make up the Community Independent School District. That's Lavon, Nevada, Josephine, and Copeville. And much like most of Collin County, this area is growing at an incredibly rapid pace. In fact, the school district announced this past summer that they're going to be building and opening 6 new schools over the course of the next 6 years to accommodate all of the growth in this region. You know, having grown up in McKinney, I had no plans at all of ever being in ministry or ever being a pastor. But God clearly had other plans for me, and a few years after I graduated from high school, went to college, moved out of Texas, I found myself serving as a pastor on staff in a church plant. And I was there for a little over a decade, then went and helped plant another church, and I served as a pastor in that church for about 7.5 years. I was actually the senior pastor for about 5.5 of those. Talk about an unexpected surprise. And in 2018, my family, my wife Elizabeth and our sons, we moved into the Frisco area, and we plugged in at Preston Trail pretty much immediately. And Preston Trail has been our home church for the last 4.5 years. And our time at Preston Trail has been a real blessing for us. We've grown in our faith, we've been stretched, we've been encouraged, we've built some incredible relationships with people who are part of the church family. But all the while, as we've been serving at and being a part of this church family, we've had this restlessness in our spirit that this wasn't a permanent season for us, that it was just another temporary season, that God had something else for us, although we really couldn't pinpoint what that was. And then over the last couple of years, our family has faced some pretty significant tragedy. And out of that tragedy has come a renewed urgency for Elizabeth and me to really leverage our gifts, our talents, our experiences for more of God's kingdom work here in Collin County. And so we have answered what we believe is a call from God to initiate a new church plant in this region, in the Community Independent School District area of Collin County. Now, if you've been around Preston Trail for any length of time, you are surely familiar with the Grow and Go initiative at Preston Trail. In fact, if you're in a group, you're working through the Grow and Go curriculum right now. And hopefully you are aware that point number 12, the last point in the Grow and Go initiative, is a commitment to help start new churches. Preston Trail has always been committed to helping start new churches. In fact, over the last few years, we've seen our church leaders support church plants in South America, Kansas, California. But now we have a renewed interest in seeing more churches get planted here in Collin County and in the region where we actually live and serve. And so you might ask the question, what does that mean for me as an individual if I am to help start new churches? Well, there's a few things that you can do. For starters, you can pray. Pray like crazy. Pray for the men and women that are leading church plants. We're not alone. Elizabeth and I are planting here in the southeast corner of the county, but there's probably another 10 or dozen churches being planted in Frisco and McKinney and Salina and Prosper and Anna and Melissa, all over the place. Pray for those ministry works. We are firm believers that the most effective way of reaching people who are far from God, helping them discover a personal relationship with Jesus, is through church planting. So even though it might seem like we have a lot of churches in our area, we can't have enough, because there are still plenty of people who don't yet know Jesus, who need to know him. Obviously, you can pray. You can also give. You can give to church plants. You can give directly to the church plant. You can give to church planting organizations that help plant churches. But if you're part of the Preston Trail family, you can actually give to the Go Fund. The Go Fund at Preston Trail is partially used to help fund and start new churches. So give to the Go Fund, Preston Trail. But really, we want to give you a boots on the ground experience in helping start new churches. And so one of the things that we're going to do here in our corner of the county is we're going to host a couple of prayer walks, one in December and one in January. Saturday, December 14th, Saturday, December 10th, and Saturday, January 14th. I got those dates right, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to meet on a Saturday morning, send out teams of 2 to 4 people out into the neighborhoods to pray for the people who currently live in the established neighborhoods, to pray in the neighborhoods like the one I'm walking through right now, which still has hundreds of houses yet to be built. Pray for the families that will eventually move into these communities. We're going to pray over the schools in the district, those that already exist and those that are soon to be built. And we're just going to ask the Holy Spirit to lead us in this work, to bless us in this work, and to bless the families that we hope that He'll bring us into contact with so that we can help them come to know Jesus in a real, personal, and life-changing way. We hope that you'll plan to participate in one or both of these prayer walks with us. You can register, RSVP, reserve your spot, whatever you want to say, on our Preston Trail Community Serve page. And you can bring your family, you can come as an individual, you can come with your group. If you're going to bring kids, just make sure that they're prepared for a 45-minute walk. That's what it'll look like. We're going to meet together at about 10 a.m., send our teams out to walk through the neighborhoods for about 45 minutes. Then we'll come back together for a debrief, share a meal together, and then you'll be done shortly after the noon hour so that you can have the rest of your Saturday to do whatever it is that you need to do on that Saturday. We really hope that you will consider coming and help us start this new church simply by praying through the neighborhoods that we want to reach for Jesus. I want to thank the leadership team at Preston Trail and their support in helping us do this work. We really appreciate their endorsement and their support. And we want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We really hope that you will come and walk and pray with us on one of those 2 dates in December or January. If there's anything that I can do to answer questions for you, either about the prayer walk or the church plant itself, my email address is below, and I would love to engage with you personally. Thanks again. God bless.